More of me to love.
And we're back again with 6 Weeks to Wellness from InVibeHealth.com with Jan Fitzpatrick. And we've been talking in this four-part series about loving the skin that you're in. So welcome to part 4 of 4 here. So Jan, we're talking about more of me to love. Where is this going? I have a sneaking suspicion.
Yes, yeah, I know you can see it right away. Well, what's up with this weight gain? Did this happen to you?
What's up with this weight gain?
What's with this? Without changing anything, you may be 2 sizes larger or more than you were before the change. And understanding how this happened and what you can do about it will help you more easily to know how to have more fun in your new body.
All right, then. So we're going to hit 4 things at this point. We're going to talk about the hens come home to roost. We're going to talk about the hormone part. We're going to talk about the stress part. And then we're going to talk about what you can do now. So let's take that from the top. Hens, home to roost. What's going on here?
Well, you can tell my upper Midwest background here. I had a lot of friends growing up who were farmers. And yes, they do come home at night. If they're cage-free, they come back. And at menopause, all your bad habits get magnified. And it becomes the mother of all wake-up calls. And whether they are physical, mental, emotional, or they're your relationships, they can be reversed. You can improve them. And this is really a good time to consider doing that.
All right, so things are changing. We got to accept it. We got to, focus on it. The hens have come home to roost. So what's this hormone part? We hear about hormones all the time.
Yeah, and it's their scapegoat, really. Blame everything.
Right? Hey, it's my hormones.
They're there, but there's a definite metabolism shift that happened. When it happened to me, it seemed like my digestion and my metabolism just quit. Which is not something I'm used to. I'm used to having a very fast metabolism. I burn up things really quickly. I skip a meal. I lose weight. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Stopped.
Body's holding on to stuff.
Yeah, and in my 30s, I had just started using some nutritional products, and my mom called me and she said, could I please help? Because she was down to a salad a day and still gaining weight. And she was probably in her 50s. And I was in my 30s, and I was thinking, oh, my God.
You're thinking she's got a box of cookies hidden somewhere,
Yes, that can't be possible because, in your 30s, you just burn it up like crazy. Yeah. But I have learned that the lower levels of metabolism change where and how we store fat.
Right.
We store more fat, and we're less willing to part with it.
Yeah, it settles in different parts too, right? It's
way different than it used to. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about the stress part because that's related, isn't it? I mean, stress and hormones have an interplay.
There's an interplay, and I just have a question. I'm going to go back to the hormone part just a little bit.
All right.
And when everything changes, it's not that women lose their estrogen. Where do you think it's coming from when the other parts aren't working anymore? It's coming from your...
It's not the sunshine.
No. It's coming from your fat cells.
Interesting.
They literally are producing your estrogen now. So there has to be a balance. Having a little extra weight is not a bad thing. Too much, of course, is. Because you do get estrogen from your fat cells.
Interesting. Okay.
So it's a good thing. You just have to make sure you kind of have to manage it. Right. Just like you have to manage the next part, which is the stress part.
So everything in moderation, and including a little bit of weight gain, perhaps, is not the end of the world. So.
Yeah.
All right. No? Stress.
Well, lots of research, as you know, is really focused on how stress affects our bodies, especially, and we're going to talk about it as related to weight gain. And it's just chemistry and biology. The more stress you have, the more cortisol is released from your adrenal glands.
Mm-hmm.
And your weight gain comes from the cortisol receptors in and around your midsection. So it kind of collects it. And then you gain weight.
Interesting. Okay. So yeah, that's
So,
it's
yeah.
everything's tied to everything else, isn't it?
Yes, yes. And then I also, if you're stressed, you may not be, or have anxiety, you may not be sleeping well. And you may have read the recent research that shows that um, if you don't sleep well, the result is a weight gain.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
how much should you sleep? Everybody talks about it. After a while, you sort of have figured out your own, but you really sleep enough to feel refreshed in the morning. Actually, if you can wake up before your alarm goes off, you've probably had enough sleep that night.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And there's lots of, as you said, lots of great research about
Yeah.
the negative impact of on a lot of body systems when you don't get enough sleep. So
Oh, yeah.
take a nap, get some de-stress, get some sleep.
Yes.
It's good stuff. So I have an
Yes.
important question
Absolutely good.
for you, Jan. What
All
can
right.
what can I do now?
Well, when we start out at the beginning, we kind of talked about the unhealthy habits that people have. They don't drink enough water. They don't eat healthy foods. They may not be exercising or sleeping. A lot of different things. Well, what you can do is just start with one healthy habit. Let's say aerobic exercise, which means it raises your heart rate, like walking. Pretty
Mhm.
simple. Well, once you walk, you know what? You're going to want to drink more water because
Right.
as you walk, you're burning the fat. You need the water to flush those waste products away as they break down. So now you are drinking more water, and now that's two habits, healthy habits that you have gotten.
Everything's connected to everything else, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And one of the other things I can do is really simple is to choose and start taking a high quality probiotic or friendly bacteria supplement. It'll help to balance your hormones. It sequesters the estrogen so that it doesn't end up in your stools. And it also, through it's called the GABA or the GABA pathways, it helps to reduce your anxiety and your stress levels.
All excellent stuff, and all starts by taking a walk, right? Getting more
Yeah.
active, getting more fluids. All these habits start to, they really do. I mean, we're saying this while smiling, but it's absolutely true, right? I mean, I have always found in my life that once I start getting more active, I actually start to crave healthier food too. I mean, it's
Yes.
everything really is
Yeah.
interconnected. So
Yeah. Well,
excellent.
as we do more of these things little by little, we do feel better about ourselves. We have, like we talked about before, a better body image. If we did it, that makes us feel really good. We
Right,
we
sense
made
of
a positive
accomplishment, right?
change,
Yeah.
and then we'll just keep choosing healthier and healthier habits.
Excellent. Well,
Yeah.
I've got a healthy habit for you. A healthy habit is to get connected to people with good, healthy information. So we've been talking
Yeah.
about in this four-part series about loving the skin you're in. We have lots of other series that we've done, and you'll find those all at invibehealth.com. But here we've covered four things: the hens come home to roost, the hormone part,
Yeah.
the stress part, and some of the things you can do right now to get yourself back on a healthier path. So that's all great stuff. But you want to get connected to Jan over at invibehealth.com because there's much, much more. And you can get a copy of Jan's book just by clicking on the little book icon in the upper right-hand corner. Get on the mailing list instead of buying it at Amazon.com. Jan sold plenty of books over there. She's going to give it away to you here on the website if you get on the mailing list. So put your name and email address in there, get a copy of the book, and get updates of all the great information that's upcoming. And another four-part series coming at you shortly. This four-part series is all there if you want to backtrack and review. So lots of great reasons to get connected to Jan over at invibehealth.com. So Jan, until our next series, this has been great. I'm going to go take some better care of my skin. What do you say?
Yeah. Great. Thanks for joining us.